Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophical system that has captivated thinkers for over 2,000 years with its practical and virtue-based approach to living. More popular than ever today, Stoicism provides timeless wisdom for leading a peaceful, purposeful life. In this video, we'll explore the origins, key principles, historical figures, common misconceptions, and modern applications of this profound school of thought. Emerging in the 3rd century BC, Stoicism was founded by Zeno of Citium, who opened his school of philosophy in Athens. The name Stoicism comes from the stoa poikile, or painted porch, where Zeno would teach his disciples. From its inception, Stoicism was concerned not just with contemplation, but with providing prescriptions for how to live. The core principles of Stoicism: control and acceptance. The Stoics make a key distinction between what is in our control and what isn't. As Epictetus stated, some things are up to us and some things are not up to us. More specifically, they believed that we have complete control over our judgments, values, desires, and aversions, what goes on in our inner domain. However, external events and situations are ultimately outside of our control. A virtuous life thus requires that we learn to accept calmly what we cannot change, while focusing effort on that which we can change, our own character and judgments. This idea is beautifully encapsulated in the well-known Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Living in agreement with nature. The Stoics also believed that the key to tranquility is to live in harmony with the natural order of the universe. For them, nature is rational, purposeful, and perfect. As humans with the capacity for reason, when we understand nature's logic and align our judgments with it, we live virtuously. Marcus Aurelius returned to this idea frequently in his meditations, advising himself to live out your life in truth and justice, tolerant of those who are neither true nor just. Virtue is the highest good. While most people pursue wealth, fame, pleasure, or health as their ultimate aims, the Stoics argued that virtue alone is the supreme good and sole source of true happiness. By cultivating wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in our thoughts and deeds, we fulfill our purpose, excel as human beings, and find meaning. Seneca urged those seeking happiness to study a man's ways and his soul. Without an acquaintance with virtue, you will wander furiously about, relentlessly seeking good fortune. Historical context and key figures. Zeno of Citium, 332 BC 262 BC. The founding father of Stoicism, Zeno was a Phoenician merchant who survived a shipwreck and wandered into a bookshop in Athens. Taken by the teachings of Socrates, Zeno made the city his new home, studying with the Cynics before opening his own school on the Stoa Poikile. Known for his calm demeanor and plain living, Zeno orated on logic, physics, and ethics, the 3 core branches of Stoic thought. Seneca, 4 BC AD 65. The most influential Roman Stoic was Lucius Annaeus Seneca, born in Spain and exiled to Corsica as a young man before becoming Emperor Nero's advisor. Forced to commit suicide for alleged conspiracy, Seneca left a lasting legacy through his philosophical essays and plays. Letters from a Stoic provides insights on ethics, anger, joy, grief, and the brevity of life. In De Tranquilitate Animi, on tranquility of mind, Seneca writes, "Men do not suffer their troubles by reason of things, but because they are without reason." Epictetus, 55 AD 135 AD. Born a slave in Hierapolis, Epictetus gained his freedom and spent his life teaching Stoicism in Rome, then Nicopolis in Greece. Though ill and crippled, his strength of mind attracted huge audiences. Epictetus stressed ethics over logic and physics, focusing his lessons on achieving happiness through self-mastery, discourses, and the Enchiridion record discussions with his students, emphasizing that what disturbs men's minds is not events but their judgments on events. Marcus Aurelius, 121 AD 180 AD. As Roman emperor for 19 years, Marcus battled an empire beset by conflict, yet strove to exemplify Stoic temperance, justice, and civic duty. His meditations record private notes, written while on military campaigns, reminding himself that what injures the hive injures the bee, and urging objectivity in his own rule and his dealings with others. Highlighting our place in nature's greater design, he wrote, "Constantly think of the universe as one living organism. Make your life a point of praise." Stoicism in everyday life. Practical applications. Rather than an abstract philosophy for contemplating in seclusion, Stoicism offers concrete solutions for the problems and stress we face in our day-to-day lives. When encountering pain, loss, frustration, or abuse from others, Stoicism provides tools to overcome destructive anger and resentment. By focusing our efforts on being goal-oriented, temperate, and charitable, we can turn adversities into opportunities for growth. American President Thomas Jefferson reportedly had a personal copy of Seneca's Morals by his bedside for regular meditation. Today, many sportspeople, politicians, and entrepreneurs apply Stoic practices to sharpen their discipline and decision-making under pressure. Stoicism in decision-making. Stoicism has much to teach us about assessing options and choosing wisely. Since we have command over our own reasoned choice, Epictetus tells us, every problem is a prospect for you to exercise reasoned choice. We can break big decisions into two categories: things amenable to our influence versus those not. By directing our attention appropriately, being guided by virtue over passion or emotion, we decide rationally in our own self-interest. Take investing for retirement as an example. While we cannot control market returns, we can control monthly savings rates, portfolio balances, and exposures. By focusing efforts here prudently and in line with our needs, we fulfill decisions well within our own control. Building resilience. A core premise of Stoicism is that what causes suffering is not hardship itself, but our judgments about it. Hence, Stoics develop resilience by fostering objectivity about life's inevitable adversities. Setbacks, losses, and even death are part of the natural order rather than a disorder to rail against. Stockdale paradox has been used to illustrate this resilience. As a prisoner of war, Admiral Jim Stockdale's survival depended on balancing brutally harsh realities with faith his situation could improve. By confronting difficulties plainly yet holding on to ultimate hopefulness, resilience is forged. Misconceptions about Stoicism. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions. A common misinterpretation of Stoicism is that mastery over destructive emotions means suppressing feelings altogether and robotically depriving ourselves of joy. On the contrary, the Stoics seek to transform anger to motivation, self-pity to perseverance, and grief to gratitude. By nurturing our humanity and pairing it with level-headedness, Stoicism leads to emotional uplift rather than detachment. The goal is judiciousness, not joylessness. Stoicism versus cynicism. Stoicism is sometimes confused with the earlier philosophy of cynicism founded by Antisthenes in Athens. While the Cynics shared the Stoics' interest in ethics over scientific study, the two schools markedly differ. Cynicism emphasized radical self-sufficiency and shocking people out of societal conformity using tactics like public nudity. Stoics alternatively focused on applying reason within society to perfect moral virtue in common human bonds and duties. Conclusion. To summarize, the essence of Stoicism lies in differentiating the controllable from the uncontrollable in order to make wise choices that align with universal nature. By mastering judgment, the Stoics attain unassailable virtue, uncompromising happiness, and complete mental freedom, regardless of external circumstance. Profoundly logical yet deeply humane, Stoic self-possession allows us to play our temporary parts in life wholeheartedly while being anchored in present-moment reality. Over 2 millennia after its founding, Stoicism continues to offer salient and nourishing food for thought. As Marcus Aurelius put it, just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. I encourage you to dive deeper into Stoic writings and discover their lessons for achieving personal liberation in your own life and times. It has been a privilege to present this short tour outlining the landscape of Stoic thought. As always, stay Stoic.